Matthew, when the shit goes down, thou hast better be ready.
Oh,
Matt, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Is Danny feeling any better?
No.
No. Oh gosh.
But
Anything we can do?
no,
Nope.
it's just write it out. It's a time thing.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, she's in decent spirits in spite of it. So
That's all you can hope for.
yes.
All right, Holmes. How are you this morning?
Yeah, just a Sunday, I guess. Nothing too exciting going on.
Crack that, big dog.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm fucking tired, but good. We had in-laws over yesterday, and they helped hang a bunch of doors and signs and stuff. The week finally caught up with me, and about midway through the day, I was like, I'm going to take a whole bunch of ibuprofen and go to bed. So normally my Friday cheat day didn't happen Friday, didn't happen yesterday because I went to bed super early. All I ate protein-wise yesterday was 2 turkey sticks and a cheese stick. And Cassandra, I think, ordered herself food at like 11 o'clock at night. Because her parents were here from like 10 or noon to like whenever they left.
Oh, wow.
And then Colin and James came over. We exchanged gifts and pleasantries. It was so good to see El Colinito.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Yeah. But on the good news end, Colin most likely will be moving back up here in 3 months.
Oh, nice.
So I'm stoked for him, and we're going to keep he can't make it tomorrow night to Hidden Path, but because he's our retail daddy, and he's doing that retail daddy work. Retail daddy gets the big piece of chicken. So when you do get to see him, make sure that you are like out there supporting our boy. He's going through it right now, but he's getting out the other side of it. I don't know what we'll do with Spoop, Troop, and Ming right now, but we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, it can take a nap until such time as it is ready.
It can go sleeping night.
Yeah.
So I took a bad fall this week. That's why I didn't do a bunch of pedal craft. I busted my ass. I'm wearing an elbow brace now because your boy can't straighten his right arm out. It doesn't straighten anymore.
Oh, man.
It goes about that far.
Oh.
I actually got so bad when I shoveled this week that I called my mom, Mommy, she immediately was like, what happened? I was like, sometimes I call you and nothing happened, Mom.
Yeah, but statistically.
Yeah, well, I mean, because we don't really communicate.
Right.
This is the same person who didn't tell me happy birthday until like almost midnight that day because they forgot. And my siblings thought it was a different day. They're like, today? My mom was like, yeah, today is his birthday. But like, today? Yeah, it's always been that day, assholes. Anyway, I was worried because that's my surgically repaired arm, and I was worried that where they tied the muscles and tendons back together had torn because the lump is now like super lump. But no, she said she doesn't think it's that. I don't think it's a broken bone, even though I've chipped that elbow before and had the bone come out when I was in like 8th grade. I'm literally just a chip of bone, just popped right out. So didn't even have to get stitches. It was so slim. Instead, they just super glued it up.
As one
times, yeah. Hey, Kansas medicine, baby. So anyway, it hurts like a motherfucker. It's worn me out all week, and I also smashed the shit out of my knees. My right knee is still blossoming bruise-wise, but they're both swollen as hell and they hurt.
Jeez.
I'm just worn out, man.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I'm a tired boy. I got to go to work tomorrow, and then I get 2 days off. Also, work has been buck wild. So, just to give you an idea, I had to cut locks off on Friday.
Oh.
With a pair of I told my boss, I was like, I haven't used a pair of bolt cutters in a real long time. Like, she was like, yeah, I want you to do it because I don't think anyone else can cut it as easy as you can. So I was like, oh, me and my fucked up arm will go cut 3 fucking locks off. That's good.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on.
2 people had to go, like right then, right there.
All right.
Times. Anyway, back at it. I'm doing better. I'm with my buddy Matt.
Yeah.
I missed you, brother. I'm glad though that you're handling your business. Hess Snow was maybe going to show up with something, but those that don't know, Hess is like a whirlwind. He's like he's a beautiful natural disaster. You don't know when he's going to strike. You know that eventually he will. So, what is it? Yeah, no. Have you ever tried to break a padlock without a pair of bolt cutters?
Oh God.
It's not really that possible. I've tried. I've tried with a crowbar and I've tried with a rock. So a little quick side note. When I was in my second year of junior college, JUCO, I went back to my hometown. And I lived with my grandparents, and my grandpa's farm is further out, or was, further out from where the house is. So we used to go out there to party, and he kept figuring out like that we were going out there. So he put a lock on the gate, and I tried like one night, probably 45 minutes to break that fucking lock because I had a replacement lock. Couldn't do it. So we didn't go there. So what I went out there to work like 2 days later with them, and I noticed like the top of the gate on the right had no cap. So the next time we went out there, I just lifted the gate up and moved the whole gate and let everybody in and put the gate back. And when he came out there and he found empty cases of beer that were not his natty light or not his natural light cases, he was like, someone's been out here fishing and drinking beer. Who is it? And I was like, I don't know. It looks like your lock's still on there. He was so aggravated for like a day. And then he was like, you lifted that gate off the hinges, didn't you? And I was like, I don't know. You're the cop. You tell me. He was so pissed off. But he was like, all right. Yeah. So then he put caps on the top. So then we would park our cars like 2 miles down and then just jump the fence. And he was just like, it was this ever escalating game because he was never mad about it. He was just like, all right.
Yeah, here's a new thing for me to solve.
Yeah, it was really fun. Because he would also come out there and we would leave a case of Natty Light for him. When we started taking our case boxes with us, he was like, oh, I don't have this much beer out here. And he would just look at me like, what are you doing? One time we bought him a really, really, really expensive bottle of vodka because my grandpa enjoyed screwdrivers. And he was like, this isn't mine. I was like, I don't know where it came from. And he was like, So my grandpa was a blast. He would do this thing when he would drink too much. He'd be moving his fist. Like, I'll knock 3 different kinds of shit out of you. I'll lay you out like a rug. It just fucking wild, man. So much fun. I miss that dude like every day. My dad's parents were the best. One more before we get started, just because it hit me. My dad was 10 years older than his brother, right? And he would sneak out at night. But the whole thing was every time we'd come back, he'd scare my uncle. And he'd get up and he'd cry because he thought, oh shit, boogeyman's here, right? So my grandpa nailed the windows shut from the inside with just little nails, like at an angle. So my dad came home one night and he climbed up the what do they call for vines? I can't think what they're called, like trellis. Climbed up the trellis. He got up there and he couldn't get the windows open, so he ended up sleeping on the roof. And the next day he snuck in and got upstairs and he's like, hey Dad, I can't help but notice that my windows don't open. And I said, yeah, I know it's a mystery, isn't it? And he was like, well, what if there's a fire? And he goes, well, I guess then some dumb shit's going to burn to death. And I was just like, yep, sounds like my grandpa. My
All right.
friends rented the apartment next door and the upstairs. And whenever I was in my bathroom, when I lived over at my grandparents, that was like directly in their living room. So we would open our windows and yell at each other when I was in the bathroom. Shit, and we would just talk. How was your day? And then when they moved, that house became like a drug house. So my grandpa used some of his pension and bought the lot and knocked the fucking house down. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, enough of the adventures of Piccolo Pete. All right. I don't know when if Hess is going to pop up, but I want to talk about bird pornography.
No.
Again, that's a Mim Bim Bam reference.
Yeah.
I got my Mystery Flesh Pit RPG book. Are you, Matthew, aware of the Mystery Flesh Pit?
You have talked about it in the past, yes.
So for those that are unaware, Mystery Flesh Pit is a alt reality where in the, I want to say the 30s, a guy discovers when they're drilling for oil, they find a supermassive organism in West Texas. And they don't realize how big it is until they start to dig into it. And it's possibly bigger than the state of Texas. So they turn it into an attraction.
Yes.
For a number of years. Also, they're mining it. And this is something I love about the book. Let me see if I can grab the book here and show you a little bit of it. Because I feel like they did their premise so much justice with this that it's remarkable. The other thing I really love is at the beginning, there's a little write-up about the guy who came up with the Mystery Flesh Pit and how they went to him and were like, hey, we want to use your thing and do this RPG, but we want to make sure we credit you and everything. And he was like, oh, that's fine. People have been building off this thing I just made for fun. They said, well, what do you want? Do you want us to leave anything out or anything like that? And he said, no, my only request is it's fun. And I was like, fuck, man, that's so cool that he was just like, yeah, I just want this to be fun. If you can't make it fun, then don't make it.
Don't make it.
All right. Yeah, come on. It says it all. This is which I find to be real disturbing and great. So they did a lot of this, which I fucking love. But my favorite one I've found so far, I'm not sneezing again. Hold on. Like this isn't quite as smooth as I wished it was.
Sure.
This is just crazy cool.
Yeah.
And this is neat. But this ad for turning like organic tissue from the superorganism into technology to make computers run faster. Showing that like Anodyne, the company that bought the oilmen out, they were literally mining this superorganism for everything. They made snacks out of it. They're literally mining this thing, right? Like, this type of like stuff is so good. It like makes it so evocative. I mean, like, again, just like, hey, venturial environment beyond this bulkhead constitutes the interior system of a living organism. This environment is actively hostile to human life. Serious injury and death may occur without proper equipment and training. Take it from me, bud. You can keep a good man down. I mean, it's just amazing, like the stuff they were able to come explore the Thunderground with picture like cartoon versions of the animals they find inside the superorganism. It's just wild stuff, and I really, really like it. I mean, even the park ranger outfit. Also, that you're just covered in gunk.
Yeah.
From the PBSO. So anyway, I love the setting a lot. I mean, a lot. Even this shit just makes me so happy. I am struggling though to find a in for a game for like a mini series game beyond the going to the superorganism and get stuck. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Because
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. Like it is more than anything else. That is amazing. Instead of a ghillie suit, it's parts made from the inside of the superorganism, which is simultaneously cool and creepy, disgusting. So anyway, I I'm looking for any ideas that people might have for um, a good mystery flesh pit uh, inside. Have you or your loved one been injured after contact with the mystery flesh pit? Call Homer Litfuer, the butcher, an experienced attorney who will fight for your piece of the meat. Spiritual trauma, wildlife injury, OSHA violations, wrongful digestion, sexual and or industrial negligence.
I mean,
1-800 meat law.
maybe there's your hook. Like you're working for that guy, and he needs you to get in there and get some evidence so he can try and
Ooh.
uh you know
Evidence for the lawsuit.
yeah.
What if that what if it was like the whole party had hidden agendas and that was one of the parties? They could all be pretending to be hikers.
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing. You can play any timeline on it, but like there's a disaster that happens where during heavy rains in Texas, there's an issue where the water is not fully stopped. It seeps into the pit, and the organism basically, for just seconds, wakes up because it's choking. And it causes like this massive, massive calamity where like thousands of people die. And now the government completely takes over. It's no longer a park. It's simply being mined, and they don't let people in anymore. But they also realized there wasn't just one entrance. There's like 27 entrances, and they can't police them all because new entrances tend to pop up because parts of the superorganism erupted from the ground during this spasm. So I'm thinking like play before that happens.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, well, before this shit goes real south. But I like that idea of people going in for, some could be just a tourist.
Yeah.
Players go in as tourists, but all have hidden agendas prior to the Great Spasm. What do you think of the setting, Matt?
Oh, it's a killer setting. I love when you talked about it before, it's such a great idea,
Yeah, it's such a weird alt history. So
Yeah.
the other reason it came out like it got to me 2 days before I watched Brandon Tenold's newest movie review, and he reviewed Godzilla versus Megasaurus. I can't remember how to say it. It's one of the last series that they did in Japan. It's
Okay.
like at the advent of CGI, so the
Yeah.
CGI is real bad. But it's about it's got an alt history bend. Godzilla, of course, they did like 3 movies during this time, and each of them, the only starting point they all share is the first Godzilla movie. There's no continuity between them at all.
Interesting.
And this one is, so Godzilla hits, the bombs get dropped, and Tokyo is completely decimated. It's like some of it's underwater. They move the capital to Okinawa. The Japanese decide they're never going to use nuclear power. So instead they discover plasma. So they have this this alternative source of power. But these like bugs get basically plasma irradiated, and they just start eating people. And it's one of those movies with Godzilla where the first wave of the enemy are not big; it's just a swarm.
Yeah.
But eventually, we get a big bug that stabs Godzilla no less than 3 times in the crotch with its stinger. Before at the end, it tries to stab him in the mouth, and he just bites the fucking stinger off. Why? Because he's goddamn Godzilla.
Yeah.
It's a movie that I've seen maybe twice, but I've not seen it in at least 10 years. So the CGI is super dodgy. Also, you should be, anyone out here should, if you enjoy the dumb shit we do, Brandon Tenhold is hilarious. It's Brandon's Cult Movie Reviews, and he's been doing it for like 10 years. So he's done, and also like at least once a year, he does Canucksploitation, the Canucksploitation month, which is great because he's Canadian. But yeah, I enjoy him. He always does Godzilla movies as often as possible because he also loves Godzilla. So anyway, it gave me that kind of, it kind of primed me for wanting to do something with alternate history, where the history is just slightly altered. It's not like,
Yeah.
wildly heavy altered. But I also like the idea a lot of the Mystery Flesh Pit is like such a part of everyday life. Like we said, they're selling like items that come from the flesh and organs and everything of this animal, that people have been just purchasing it. So, Matt, have you seen The Stuff by Larry Cohen?
No, I'm not.
It kind of has that vibe to it to me in my head. The Stuff is worth it. It's Larry Cohen, so it's kind of funny as well as creepy. But it's this white yogurty stuff that it turns out that it's sentient, and people are eating it because they can't get enough of the stuff. But then it starts to eat them from the inside. So it's a movie about consumerism. It's great. But I kind of like the idea of even that a little bit. That maybe Anodyne, which is now owned by the federal government, finds a new pocket of material, and it turns out that material is sentient. Or not even that it's sentient, it's it could also just be another life form inside.
Yeah.
That it could be like a bunch of tiny little worm boys. So anyway, I feel like that can go anywhere. So everyone could keep keep Mystery Flesh Pit. Keep Mystery Flesh Pit close to your heart. But if you have ideas, I mean, you can always save them till next week, or you can put them in the Discord. Because I want to do a mini series of this. Matt, can I nail you down for a player in this?
No, but I'm tempted.
No.
Let me know as things
go on.
I don't know what my.
I know. I'm giving you shit, Matt. Would it? Okay, let me ask this in a different way. Would it interest you enough that you would consider it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because also the first thing I had in my mind when I was reading through, I was like, cliffhanger inside the Mystery Flesh Pit. I was like, where did that come from? I haven't seen Cliffhanger in at least 10 years. I was just like, had this idea of Stallone on a line between a chasm of digestive acid inside the Mystery Flesh Pit. I've been watching too much Bill Hader doing impersonations. I don't know if I told you about that, but I think I've watched the one where he does Arnold like 100 times in the last month. Don't go in there. There's a bomb in there. Because he talks about being a PA on Collateral Damage.
Mm.
And he said that was the line from the movie. It was like, don't go in there. There's a bomb in there. But the first time he meets Arnold's walking around is basically the smallest shorts known to man.
Of course.
And he's like, I can't remember the other guy. Well, Peter and David. He's like, Peter and David are Arnold's hair and makeup guy. Well, Peter and David. And he's like, I don't know. And he says, find them. Show me your leadership capabilities. And he's like, that was my first interaction with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's puffing a massive cigar. He was like, I was like, they're over there in their tiny director chairs. Show me your leadership capabilities. So also I'm working on an Arnold right now, a bad Arnold. Because all my fucking accents and everything are terrible, but I still enjoy them. All right. Next thing. I know this is probably maybe tasteless. I don't know. Fuck that guy from United Health. Um,
Oof.
this popped up in my feed in YouTube. A TED Talk by Nick Hanauer, who is also a um, super rich dude, and he gives a talk. He's like said at the beginning, this is not to normal people. This is to my fellow plutocrats. This is 10 years ago, where he's basically like, "Hey guys, if we don't figure shit out soon, they're going to come with pitchforks." And the first part of his talk actually makes him sound like a human being. And then it slowly morphs into, I'm not doing this for humanity reasons. I'm doing this because I want to see capitalism continue.
Yeah.
um, and I was fascinated by this. I mean, he's not wrong. Like the way he spells things out, like trickle down economics does not work. And like if we keep doing this, it's gonna be it's statistically impossible and historically impossible to maintain. He was comparing it to like France before the revolution. He's like, we are as plutocrats are asking to be targets of the populace. We're begging to be targets of the populace because we are literally we're eliminating the middle class. We are causing the poor to be even poorer while we have obscene amounts of wealth. And he's like, I have a jet. Why do I need a jet? He's like, I will never be able to spend enough money to equate the amount of money that if we just simply paid people better, they could spend. He's like, I can never buy enough pants to equate if we pay our folks better the amount of pants that they can buy. Which again, it's good, but he's not doing out of like, I want to see people have pants. It's, I need people to spend money to have pants. So I thought about it, just hit me when this popped in and I watched it. And before I got so disgusted, I turned it off with the last like 2 minutes ago. This idea of a war between plutocrats. So like a modern day war between robber barons, basically. And the PCs are kind of involved in that. I can't figure out exactly how, but also I'm like, is it real tasteless to do this in like an American Civil War style thing? Should I try to reskin this into like Star Wars or what? But I also was like, something about it like hits in a way, right? And maybe it's just right now it's hitting super hard.
I mean, I think it's always gonna. There's that undercurrent is not gonna be there. Just because this shit's not changing anytime soon.
Well, it won't change until there's so many dead plutocrats that the rest of them are like, okay. I mean, it won't change. Certainly won't change in the next 4 years because
Probably.
fuck me.
No.
Our government is now just plutocrats. We're a plutocracy.
Yeah, oligarchy.
Are we I can never remember the difference between an oligarchy and a plutocracy.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
And I'm too lazy to look it up. It's probably why I'm not in the plutocrat class.
No.
That's one thing he does mention that I admire. He said, folks who are plutocrats generally are not geniuses. He's like, I'm not smarter than anyone else. I'm actually, a lot of it has to do with luck. He's like, and there's a vast majority of the plutocrats in this country right now that it's just born into wealth.
Yeah.
He's like, so don't think that a plutocrat's better than you. He's like, scientists are not plutocrats.
No.
Inventors generally do not become plutocrats because someone buys them out. So which I did admire that he was very bluntly honest about like, if someone tries to sell you on the fact that they're a genius and they became wealthy, that's probably not true. All right. So something as well. I mean, I think this is a good idea. I think using it in like a modern game, like like 5e modern or something like that, or even like reskinning like what's that PBTA game you like? Spirit of 76. Doing something like that is interesting, but I'm kind of thinking like maybe this skews better the idea of it, like in Star Wars or something like that. Um,
It would work. I mean, it would slot pretty neatly into Star Wars,
yeah,
I think.
especially like where they're at now and the unknown regions, because I've been doing a bunch of research and there's a ton of um, like small systems controlled by certain races. So like there's the Chiss ascendancy, and there's all these other like little empires, for lack of a better term, in the unknown regions.
Okay.
But there's a few that they're just like, so like the Grisk, who I think they're going to. So I've been hearing that Disney does not want to touch the Yuzan Vong, which if you're a Star Wars Legends person and a book reader, I think I said this last week too. The Yuzan Vong is like a 22 book series.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Chewbacca bites it. Lots of people die. Coruscant gets almost virtually gets destroyed. I think they're going to use the Grisk as a replacement for the Yuzan Vong. So one thing that we know already in canon about the Grisk is they use what's called client races, where they basically pay other races to do their dirty work for them. It's not that they're not capable. The Grisk are a lot like the Tong, who are the OG Mandalorians, except for the Grisk don't go to war unless they're like going to war. So they're like, okay, they remind me a little bit of like United States foreign policy in the 80s of like, doing things in Cuba or in Central America where they're like paying and arming rebels to enforce U.S. foreign policy.
Yeah.
Which hasn't really changed. But they kind of remind me of that a little bit. So I kind of like that idea that when the Grisk show up, they show up to fight. But otherwise they send these other races to handle their business for them. So I think, that's cool in the fact that you have a group, like an ubiquitous group off doing its own thing. You also know they're dangerous by the fact that the Chiss are afraid of them, because the Chiss it's a race of Thrawns.
Yes.
Thrawn might be a little special, but it's really just a race of Thrawns. So I like the idea of like having systems that are controlled by some of these races, and having a couple that are just merchant races. They're races that rely upon super strong economic backbones to control things, and then having to do with they're hiring. They're always hiring for wet works, Matt. We'll pay for bloodshed.
Yep.
So trying to convince the PCs, like, do you want to do work this way? Do you, if you need to make alliances or you need money, will you work for? And it's not even money because everyone's using different currency, so it's more like, they have something you need, whether it's Cortosis or Beskar or fuel for your hyperdrive, whatever it is. Will you take the work that they offer? Especially if it's like, hey, we want you to go to the government on this moon in our system that we haven't been able to buy off or whatever. There's a politician there. We need him gone. So I don't know. Some thought there. I don't know if it really holds as much water. I don't know if it does as well here in this thing. This I think would be a matter of like 2 moons in a system, like wanting to go to war because they're both owned by different wealthy people.
Yeah,
and they picked the 3rd moon as where the war is going to take place.
I think it's more. Yeah, it's more like, how does this group get into it? But
I think it's being offered something that they can't otherwise have.
Yeah.
Something to think about. I mean, again, this just popped in my head this morning, and I want to maybe explore it further. I don't know. It's like there's something there, but I don't know how to kind of get my grubby paws around it. All right. making a schedule. So I like prep school, but I also know that now there's enough of us that like come to prep school with things they want to do. Like Hess occasionally is like, hey, can I come on to this thing? I want to try to get Duke to come on more, if for no other reason, so we can talk about fried chicken. Because every time I talk about fried chicken, I'm just nostalgic. Beard wants to do a bunch of different things. I know James is trying to figure out a way to be more of a presence on different things. So I want to kind of try to figure out how to make a schedule so like some mornings it's not just you and I like yapping like 4 times a month,
Sure.
but instead it's like other people have times where it's like they run things.
I mean, I think the trick there is going to be getting them to commit. But
well, I know Beard wanted to do one where we just start building a world from scratch.
Sure.
We all just use some of the tools he has. We literally just talk about it, and we want to get one thing accomplished every time we talk. So,
okay.
And literally building a setting, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like Munch Squad. It's a podcast within a podcast. What would we call that? We just call it show within the show. Because I'd love to have a thing where, Duke comes on and teaches cult.
Yeah.
It maybe only needs to be 10 things long, like 10 times he comes on and does it. But I think having someone come on and be like, hey, this is how we do this game. This is a game that, this is what it's about. This is the basic tenets, because I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
And it's a game, like I said, I'm not overly familiar with, because I would love to have somebody come on and teach me Paranoia. I've only played it a few times. I love the setting, but I have no idea how to play that. And I'd love to know how to play it, or even like having people come on and say, this is how I would run this game. A month commitment until they have finished what they wanted to do. All right. Beard's world building. Ask Duke to teach cult. Colin / Beard / Duke. How do I do the silly voices? Because here's the thing. Colin's voice game is fucking strong. Beard's voice game is strong. And Duke has spent the vast majority of their life in theater. From an amateur to professional, he's been paid for his work. I think if he would have chosen to do theater rather than becoming a chef, he probably would have been very successful. One of our friends is an actor. I think Neil's in New York now, but who's done like commercials you've seen with him in it. And they were probably the two best actors I can think of that came out of my school. And yeah, I'm bragging a little bit. Yeah, they were students of my aunt. Fuck off. I'll brag about my aunt if I want to. She's cool. But I would like them to like come on and talk about like how to, because James has like a very specific like thing he does that he talks about, like having like keywords that he uses or phrases to get into like I can't remember what the one he uses all the time for Jesse Ventura voice. But he has like a phrase he uses to get that voice to like click in his head. She's real cool. But like I would like those guys. I'd like that to be a thing where they come on and they talk about like how to, like for me, like what I do, like I said, the Bill Hader thing is I watch Bill Hader do Schwarzenegger about 100 times, and I just keep saying the words while he says them. But
Right.
like he does Pacino, and I can't do Pacino at all. I can't figure it out. Although I do like the thing where he talks about one of the things he used to get on SNL was a scene where Al Pacino talks to his new housekeepers, and he's just like, if I see a cantaloupe on that table, I will lose my goddamn mind. And it's just like, that's fucking funny because it's weird. Or he talks about like the time he won an Oscar for a thing, and he's like, he doesn't address the crowd at all. He just keeps looking around and going, wow, there's a camera over there. There's a guy over there. Oh, wow, there's a camera over there. And he's like, he did this for like 5 minutes. So just like wanted to talk about everything but the fact he was there to take an award. Like, but the voice is what draws you in. Like,
yeah,
he does so well with the voice that it makes me just want to go, okay, well, like I think having some of those voices really like makes characters stand out, like your NPCs stand out. And it's and they don't have to be like the exact, like I'm never gonna be like this guy's Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like, don't go in there, there's a bomb in there. Instead, it's gonna be like something else. It's gonna be, but might have that voice. Not to mention someone running a game, if I have a silly voice, that makes it easier for me to remember the character.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that guy sounds like James Mason. So it's easier for me to remember that rather than like, then everyone just sounds like me. And I don't want to hear my voice that much. And I know you don't want to hear my voice that much. So I think it's a cool, fun thing. The only one I do that I thoroughly enjoy is Death Row, baby.
Death Row.
Death Row. It's American Dream.
If you will.
If you will, daddy. But I have to say that for just talking on stupid shows. Because that's what that's good for. So like, even another one would be good was like have Colin teach beyond or the Loop game, Tales from Loop.
Yeah.
Having people come in and do that, but also like just looking for other people. Like, you know what I would bug you, Matt? I would really like to see you talk about lore. Like why lore is important. Like G.I. Joe is a perfect example of that. Also, I know Beard and I both want just something called Lore Dump. Matt talks G.I. Joe. Because we both are like, I want to know all this for no other reason. I might steal from it.
Yeah.
But like having those, some little things, so it's not just me going, hey, I want to prep for a game that I prepped for 2 days ago, and now I'm going to talk about. So, Matt, how are you?
I mean, I'm down.
So, I mean, does this sound like things you think people might be interested in? I guess.
I think so. I mean, and we do this for us, not for anybody else. It's more just like if people happen to watch it, great. But that's not why we're doing it.
Step 1, throwaway plan. Step 3, profit. Even having something like what the hell was that called? Appendix X. I think it's called Appendix X. Oh. So when Gygax and Arnson made D&D, there's a thing called, I think it's called Appendix X, or it's Appendix N, I can't remember. Yeah, it's Appendix N.
Okay.
So this was like the list of. It started out for Gygax and Arnson. This was the list of books that inspired them.
Mm.
I've been trying to, like, when I'm making a mini series or whatever, I've been trying to always, when I send the idea of it to people, I've been trying to put in Appendix N in. Like, so for DC Showcase Presents.
Yeah.
I believe I put in like anything written by Grant Morrison. The Doctor 13 miniseries. Like, here's the things that, like, if they give you the vibe.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of, like, talking about Appendix Ns, like, with people, saying, like, what are the works, whether they're music or film or books or TV or whatever it is that comics that you go back to repeatedly in order to get that vibe you want.
Yeah, the feel, right.
All right. We got way more on this than I thought we would. So the plan is, there it is right there. I already wrote the plan down. I already wrote the plan down. All right, cool. All right, I'm going to talk about the move. I think this is the last day we can use StreamYard.
Okay.
Since I canceled things, but we are moving to Streamlabs.
Mm-hmm.
And I've set everything up. Streamlabs apparently bought out another company who has an interface. It's almost identical to StreamYard.
Hey.
So that's what we're using. And you know what? It's $7 a month instead of $50. So lick my balls, StreamYard. But we're moving stuff over there. So I just want to say, if things aren't smooth for a while with, like, all of our, intro videos and everything, sorry, and music and all that, sorry. It's going to take a little bit because we're trying to learn this new thing. And Doug and I spent like 2 hours trying to figure some things out. And it's still going to take some time because, like, when we first started doing streaming, we had the benefit of Doug. Doug handled everything. That's why when I first started streaming stuff, we were using OBS, because Doug would take time out of his day to just hang out and run the OBS. So I knew how to do it and I could do it, but trying to run OBS and do things at the same time is not easy. That's why people have, like, mods and stuff like that. But you know what? Doug also has a life, and he only did it for so long because then he was like, well, this is cutting to my World of Warcraft or Minecrafting or Factorium time. So, and he got bored too. Let's put it that way. So all I'm going to ask for is, please be patient with us as we try to sort out how best to use Streamlabs. Streamlabia. I don't know. Is that something? Oh. Yeah, I know. Patience, I'm asking for so much. So anyway, I just put out the Hess Snow signal too, because I'm like, hey man, it's almost 11. But this might be a little bit. Plus, I mean, I want to get back to doing some. I want to fix the Spoop Troop opening. But I need some help with that because I don't remember how to fix that. I want to do some more music, but so I'm gonna kind of put these down. Fix Spoop Troop opening. Make some new music for things like DC Showcase Presents. We're gonna keep our fucking Mountain Monsters intro because that thing is terrible and wonderful at the same time. By the way, did you listen to Big Feats this week?
I did.
Brockway is back, baby.
He is. It's the Lightning Man and the Thunder
Lightning
Brothers.
Man and the Thunder Brothers, which also sounds like a great like comic book name.
Oh yeah.
Lightning Man and the Thunder Brothers. All right. But there's some things I want to do here. I'd like to have some additional opening stuff. I felt like I went real hard for a long time, and I got all the shows to have some openings and stuff. Or did the music? I think I did the music for everything except for DNO, which Duke did. Duke and Simon did. I think Ivan might have helped a little bit. So those are Duke's sons, Ivan and Simon. They're both amazing young men. And I'll be honest again. Duke is a way better music person than I am, like 100 times. If you've listened to like any intro I've done and compare it to the DNO stuff, and you'll be like, yeah, that's significantly better. So I'd like to see like that kind of get back to having some of that.
Yeah.
Because I think it does help. And I'd like to get back to maybe doing some once a month or once every 2 months, doing some type of weird supplementary material just for the fun of it. Once, okay, we're going to put at least once a quarter, do some type of supplemental material for one of the games in progress. I mean, how much fun would it be, Matt, if we were getting ready to do Aimless, which is what I'm calling our Mount Monsters thing right now, until I can. But if there was like a fake newspaper article about a cryptid,
yeah, I mean,
and then just like a bunch of other fake articles beside it, like I like that would be fun. Like I want to be able to get back to doing that. It's just I haven't. Yeah, I'd also like to, for lack of a better term, outsource some of that. Just like, I still like to outsource someone going in and editing our our Aimless game material.
I mean, it's still something I want to do, but
again, here's the thing too. Oh shit. The Hunter Brothers versus the Outrunners, book it. Bomb is Shaggy. Bomb is Super Spike, if I didn't say it before. Yeah, I'm trying not to, like, a lot of times my eyes are bigger than my stomach, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all guilty of that at times.
Yeah. So I'm trying. And everybody's schedules are much tighter than they used to be. And this is something like even when it comes to Extra Life.
Yeah.
Having a better idea of who does what. That way something like doesn't happen like the last 2 years where Beard like literally just hoisted everything on his back and was like, come with me if you want to live. Get through the chopper. But I think that's going to change next year. I think like literally it's going to be Cassandra's going to do the organization. Beard's going to be doing the fundraising. I that's kind of the thing. I might run more than 4 games instead. I might say, you know what, I'll run 6 things, so some other people can have a little bit of that off their chest.
Yeah, I think it is getting as many more people involved as you can, even if it is just in a small way. It's like all you can do is run, take one slot. Great, take a slot.
Yeah. And we want to do stuff in the meantime, that we can record. And now that the doors are on in the game room / library area, the game closet has doors now. So that means all of these sawhorses and everything aren't just sitting out with doors being painted on them. I would like to see, and we've been talking about how we can record, like when we play something like Core Space or Frostgrave,
Yeah.
some other dumb game, and Doug and I are Doug is good with editing software. I would like to learn to be better at it, or just learn how to do it. Because I would like to make little things of when we play those games, like just record them and then just cut them up into like, hey, we played this game. You might find it interesting. Cut it up into a 30-minute little video so we can just throw it on YouTube or whatever. Oh, the Bombas. I love the Bombas Brothers. I'm down. The Bombas Brothers need a push. But especially with stuff like Book It. So a while back, if you don't know what Book It is, look it up. It's by Foamhammer Games. It's fantastic. I'm waiting on the last Kickstarter that they did to come, which has got championship belts in it and tag teams. So a while back, Doug went and statted every local person out that we wanted in the game. So for Christmas, one of the things I received from James was a giant poster print that David did of Ultimo Dragon. The art style that Dave used is really, really, really close, if not better than the one used in the game Book It. So I reached out to him yesterday and was like, hey, what would it cost us for you to do the art for these cards? And he was like, well, it depends on what I got going on, but I might be willing to do it for next to nothing. Perfect. I would love to have a card, a 62, wrestler deck for Book It using that system for just local people. And we could use local venues and, all of that. And we could just play, Mindy Book It. Because here's the thing. Book It's great. I adore Book It. But man, it'd be fun to do it with the people that, we used to call matches and stuff for. Also, I chose the Ultimo Dragon poster because I called an Ultimo Dragon match and it made me so happy. The other one that he had was Jushin Thunder Liger that Colin took. And I was still like, I kind of still want a Liger poster too. Also, I want to show something off real quick. Beard gave me this for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
I have no idea where I'm going to put this.
Well, no.
But I want to hang it from the ceiling because god damn, this is cool. Cassandra was like, James has a gift for giving you gifts that you have no idea where you're going to put. It's true. He does do this very well. But I think I don't know where I want to hang it somewhere. Also I put down the Rocky Bottom Mountain Boys. The rocky part underneath Snake Mountain yesterday. Maybe next time you're around, Matt, and you're here, I would like. Yeah, man, he gave me a Kamala one 3 or 4 years ago that is fucking cool as hell. Where he was like, I have too many of these. David's prints are fantastic. They're super dynamic. They're well colored. They do a good job of walking the perfect line between what you want for realism, but also being super comic book. And they're so cool. Yeah. If you can get a prints from him, do so. They're worth it. Also, he can knock those things out so fast, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he'll go quick.
I also hit him up for a Dave head in 1/10 scale, so I can make Dave a Motu guy.
I still have a Dave head. He was going to give me one at one point, and then I think he just, he Daved it up. Forgot.
He Daved it up. Yeah, I want to get pictures of everybody's Motu guys that I've made for them, so I can get a group shot at some point. Because I also need to find a head for Colin. I don't know what that head would look like. You'd have to have short hair. I'd have to keep the sides kind of darker and the top blonde. Glasses. You'd have to kind of have the same facial structure as Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
Because Colin looks like Donald Sutherland. Like a young Donald Sutherland. I still have told him more than once he should just grow a mustache. Just a fucking pervy mustache.
I mean, it doesn't need to be pervy. It could just be a mustache.
70s giant mustache. Have you ever seen The Editor, Matthew?
I have not.
It's a homage to Giallo movies. To the point it's badly dubbed and everything else. It's maybe 8 years old. But the police detective in it has curly hair. It looks like Italian Donald Sutherland. He has a big bushy mustache. It's superb. I highly recommend The Editor. It is weird.
Okay.
It's especially if you kind of like Giallo. It's like here's all the Giallo tropes in one movie. There are like scenes that are direct homages to scenes in Giallo movies. And it's about an editor who lost his hand, so he has one wooden hand. Otherwise, he would have been the world's greatest editor.
Of course.
And as he's editing these movies together, he realizes like, is his editing causing people to be killed in the order of the movie? And yeah, it's a fun, weird little homage to the Point of Camp movie that I really, really highly recommend. All right. Anyway. So yeah, this is kind of some stuff I want to do. I also will put down what just happened there, guy? See if come on, man. Anyone would be interested in doing some of the music editing supplemental mental stuff. Let's try and utilize our homies and delegate like bosses. I don't like that. Delegate. Just delegate. Oh shit! What just happened there? Define roles for 2025 Extra Life. Start making material. I'm going to start making recorded material for 2025 Extra Life. All right. I think we got a good, unfortunate list of stuff we got to do. I've got to do to figure out. What's this? Matt's like, what's this we shit?
No, I'm happy to help as much as I can.
Matt, you always do. I still think Matt. I feel like we should try to figure out a way to do like a Cribs version of people's like toy bullshit and collection stuff, where we just do a walk around and talk about like what we've got. In the style of Cribs, which I think
get your editing going, and there you go. Just
even like I would love for someone to do that in Minecraft. I think that would be fucking hilarious. Anyway, I think that's it. Hey, we went for an hour and no Hess Snow, so we're gonna put Hess No Show Snow, so I can give him grief about it next time. Because I messaged him like 15 minutes ago. I was like, "Hey, where are you at, dude?" All right. So one thing I want to say, because this is, I think, the last. I might sneak in a pedalcraft depending how I feel. This might be the last thing. Oh no, we'll do Star Wars tomorrow night. Fuck you guys. I'm not gonna tell you thanks. I don't care about you. Anyway, just joking. This is the last prep school before the holiday. I just want to say thanks. Mitch, Shaggy, and Spike, y'all are the stalwarts. It might as well be, we might as well just call it the Shag Spike Mitch show, because you are all always with us and super supportive. Exactly. You guys, literally sometimes I will be like, I don't want to do this today. In the back of my mind, the little voice will go, well, what about Shaggy and Spike? What about Mitch? What if... I'll be, God damn it, brain, fine, I'll do it. No, but see, the thing is, seriously, you guys support David. You support us.
Damn right.
You give us your time. You give us your ideas. some of the best ideas that I've had for games have been from Matt and from chat. Period. You guys are able to take like a dumb idea I spout off at the mouth about and spin it into gold. I try to make sure you guys get enough credit in those games that people know that this is chat's fault. But the reality is I enjoy doing this so much on Sunday mornings when I could be sleeping in because of you all. Because you all come with the coolest ideas. You always make me laugh. You're always the most fun. People, I when I don't get to talk to y'all via chat, I do miss it greatly. Hey, Shaggy, you're doing that work for people, so
Damn
you
right.
deserve to be supported. And if we can support you, we always will. And it's the same thing with Extra Life. Y'all are always there. You are our voice of the voiceless. But I do really appreciate it a great deal, and I know Matt does too.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure we let you know, and we hope you have the best holiday possible. Matthew,
Yes.
I most likely will not see you before holiday. So,
no, you won't, probably.
So I really want to say thank you. You again, you are the perfect partner for doing stuff like this. You are a king of research, a fathomless and bottomless pit of ideas, and one of the most supportive friends I've ever had the luxury of having. So I am very, very, very. That's the gift that I get every year. Is I get the gift of Matt, and it's been one of the best gifts I've ever.
Well, this is always. I mean, it's nice to have a chance to just chat about whatever, and to help out with your stuff. I mean, you've got the drive to run the games and whatnot and the time that I haven't really had or made. So it's nice to be involved in that way. Until or if I get my shit enough together to do some of it myself.
The only reason I do it, Matt, is because it keeps the voices inside my head quieter.
Hey,
I mean, like I said, there's things that just pop into my head and I can't get them to be quiet because they're like, hey, well, what if we did this? Hey, we could do this thing. Don't you want to do this thing? It'd be fun. I'm like, fine, shut the fuck up. Just let me just sleep. But also I have a lot of fun doing that. I have a lot of fun being able to run games for my friends. I have a lot of fun seeing y'all be excited or joyous or surprised or whatever when we can come up with interesting and weird ideas and make them happen. And Super Spike, you're lying. You are excellent, and you're also like you're the you're the third leg of Spoop Troop. So you know which third leg I'm talking about. So yeah, I hope you all have a good holiday, however you celebrate it. I hope your families are healthy, safe, and happy. And thank you, as always. I hope you all know how important y'all are. So with that, we're going to give Matt back time because he last time we did DC stuff, we were like 2.5 hours of just talking about weird, minuscule DC lore. So, hey, thank you. Have a good holiday. Stay safe. Maybe I'll see you Monday night for Warren and the Stars. If you got that time, baby. Bomb us to all.